Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Thomas McDermott Jr. I'm Mayor of the City of Hammond, Indiana. For the past 2 weeks, the local and national media has focused much negative attention on the Hammond Police Department. Despite the excellent job they have always done making Hammond a safe suburb of Chicago's South Side, many have jumped on this bandwagon locally as well. Exaggerated charges of racism and brutality against the Hammond PD are being encouraged and solicited by the media at this very moment in the city. Despite this constant barrage of recent criticism, the job must go on for the Hammond police officers to keep Hammond safe, and it has gone on. 2 days ago, a murder case broke open that is now a national news story. As the details of this grisly murder that took place in a Hammond motel room come out, you will discover how this murder was solved by the Hammond Police Department. It will make you proud of the job that the Hammond Police Department does. Hammond Police captured a murderer from Gary that is a suspect in at least 7 homicides spanning many years in Northwest Indiana. As many of the victims were found in abandoned houses in Gary, Indiana, I would like to remind Hammond residents why we are so diligent in our city, making sure that any abandoned house in Hammond must be boarded up immediately, must be demolished immediately, or rehabilitated immediately. Leaving abandoned houses open to the public is inviting danger. Houses that are not properly secured become a danger to the community, as we have seen in this case. Hammond and Northwest Indiana are safer today because this murder case was solved by the Hammond Police Department. Our condolences and prayers go out to the victims and to the families of the victims. We are pleased to be able to provide closure to the victims' families. To the Hammond Police Department, my congratulations on a job well done. You've made our city and our region safer. I would like to introduce you the Chief of the Hammond Police Department, Chief John Doty.
Good afternoon. It's our understanding that as a result of our investigation, the 2 female adults were involved in a pay-for-service prostitution scheme that was being advertised on ChicagoBackpage.com. It is believed that the suspect in the Hammond homicide reported last Friday, October 17th at 9:30 p.m. at Motel 6, 3840 179th Street in Hammond, had solicited service through Backpage.com. An arranged meeting then took place at the Motel 6 involving Hammond victim number 1, identified as Africa Hardy, age 19, and the current suspect, a 43-year-old resident of Gary by the name of Darren Van, spelled V-A-N-N. Mr. Van is a registered sex offender in the state of Texas regarding a charge of sexual assault and conviction in September 2009. During that Friday evening, the female facilitator in the transaction attempted to contact Ms. Hardy and was provided suspicious text responses that she believed to be from the suspect while he was still inside the motel room. Due to these text exchanges, the facilitator found a male friend of hers and went to Motel 6 to see what was wrong. The victim was then discovered. Information was obtained from the facilitator that revealed a phone number that the Hammond police detectives were able to use to help locate the suspect. This information led to a search warrant being executed in the city of Gary on the afternoon of Saturday, October 18th. During a subsequent interrogation of Mr. Van, he admitted his involvement in the Hammond incident and had expressed an interest in notifying police of other criminal incidents he was involved with. This included initially describing and then helping detectives locate 3 other victims in the city of Gary. 3 other female victims have been subsequently located in the city of Gary with the assistance of Mr. Van, bringing the total number of victims, including ours, to 7. Beginning with locations where they were found, the 6 Gary victims: 413 East 43rd Avenue, victim identified as 35-year-old Maryville resident Anith Jones. The second one, 1800 East 19th Avenue, victim identified as 28-year-old Gary resident Taria Beatty. Third one, 2200 Massachusetts, victim unidentified African American female. The fourth one, 4300 Connecticut, victim identified as 36-year-old Gary resident Christine Williams. And 2 victims found together, 400 East 43rd Avenue, two unidentified African American females. All the victims were found in Gary, except the one, obviously, at Motel 6 in the city of Hammond. During his initial arrest in the city of Gary, Mr. Van told Hammond police officers at the scene that he had messed up by committing the crime in Hammond, and was surprised how quickly he was located after the incident. The 6 Gary incidents of suspected homicide are currently being investigated for possible future charges. Murder charges are being sought by the Hammond Police today at the Lake County Prosecutor's Office in Crown Point for the Hammond incident. Motel 6 in Hammond has cooperated with Hammond in the past involving criminal investigations, many of them involving Backpage.com, and is considered a reputable business in the city of Hammond. I would like to thank every Hammond police officer that has been involved in this investigation. I'm very proud of each and every other one of them. I would like to especially thank Captain Ezekiel Hinojosa for his leadership in the Criminal Investigation Division. I'll offer to take a couple questions, but as you can imagine, we have a lot on our plate. The investigations of at least 6 are ongoing. It is possible that investigation will lead to more victims, so we have to be careful about what we say at this point. So I'll take at least a couple.
Did the suspect resist at all?
Did not. He was cooperative with officers.
Did he say why he wished to cooperate? Why did he volunteer this information to you?
He made statements to officers that I can't reveal at this time. He was looking for a type of deal with the prosecution. I won't be specific about that answer, though.
Chief,
What about the
an
94?
idea of the span of time we're dealing with for these homicides?
It could go back as far as 20 years, based on some statements we have, and that's yet to be corroborated.
In more than one state, Chief?
Don't know that. Right now, we're only talking about what happened in the state of Indiana, per Mr. Van.
You know
Did
what
he claim to have murdered someone?
What happened in Indiana?
I do not.
Was Africa Harvey present?
I do not know that.
Did he claim to have murdered someone in 1994 and 95 in Indiana?
He's claimed that crimes he's committed may go back that far in the state of Indiana.
Chief, is there any consideration to bringing in the FBI if this goes to Illinois or Texas, or possibility thereof?
I don't have any indication right now that it is going to other states, so if that happened, I guess the question would be appropriate at that time.
What can you tell us about these women? Were they ever reported missing before? Were they sex workers? Were they on drugs? What can you tell us about the victims?
I don't know the specifics of all the victims at this time, and I don't want to catalog anybody in particular at this time, and I want to be sensitive to their families as well.
Chief, had you been in contact with him before any arrests prior to this with Hammond or even Gary, you guys know of?
Not that I'm aware of, through the city of Hammond.
You talk about going back 20 years. Is that for these 7 or these 6 other bodies in Gary, or is that possibly other ones? Or any of these 6 that you've found so far, did they go back 20 years?
We believe the ones we found are more recent.
Can you give a sense of how recent they might be?
Not exactly, no.
I'm sure you don't want to go too far with this, but did he articulate why he had killed him?
No, not, I don't have a specific reason he does this. I don't
Were
know.
any of these women reported missing ever?
We do have missing reports on several of them, I believe.
Is it how we chose to kill
strangulation?
I can't say on each case individually. I can tell you for sure the Hammond incident was strangulation.
Could these women be outside of Gary and Hammond, Indiana?
I don't understand the question.
Could some of these women, does the evidence point that these women could be found outside of Gary and Hammond, Indiana, maybe farther into Indiana?
Yeah, one Hammond, the rest in Gary, and from Mr. Van is cooperating with us, and that is all we have at the moment.
Were the bodies down names?
It was just pointed out that only one of the victims had a missing report out.
And that was Ms. Jones, and
Was he registered to the state of Indiana, and did Indiana have an obligation to keep track of him?
Specifically, well, he's not a Hammond resident.
Was he a resident of the state of Indiana?
He was a Gary resident.
Was he registered through the state sex offender website of the state of Indiana?
State of Texas, not state of Indiana.
Could
Did
you
he have
tell
no
us?
obligation to be registered under Indiana, and did Indiana have an obligation to keep track of him?
Yeah, we work with county on that. He doesn't live in Hammond, so my officers wouldn't have been following him.
Chief,
you
can
expect
you
charges?
tell us of his whereabouts? Is he originally from this area, then went to Texas?
That I honestly don't know, as we speak. I
Can
don't
you tell us about how,
I don't have the information with
Chief,
me.
can you tell us about the condition of the bodies when they were found? Were they
tied up, or
I
were they
cannot.
hidden,
I
anything like
cannot.
that? And also, more exactly, how you tracked him down once you found out that's the person you were looking for. What happened? Can you walk us through that?
But I can only talk about the use of the phone. I believe we got the phone number from the facilitator, and we used some electronic measures to track him down and locate him in here.
Is he physically, is he leading you to the suspect?
So I guess the classification would be, the other cases are not solved yet. If we directly attach him to it, then we can make that assumption.
Is he leading you to the bodies? Or
He's being charged today with him.
Did he voluntarily give you the information?
Yes.
What makes you think it went back 20 years? What proof do you have it might go back that far?
Volition on his part.
is he giving you addresses, or is he physically going to the sites with you to show you where the women are located?
He's been giving us descriptions, cooperating, and accompanying us to locations.
Are these other locations abandoned houses?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Were they murdered at these locations or not there?
That is not known.
Chief, can you tell us, as far as the
Sexual abuse
information,
record?
Okay, we're going to do just a couple more questions. I want to remind everybody this is an active investigation. We don't want to jeopardize the case. I'm sure you all understand that. We're going to take a couple more questions. We're going to wrap
He has
this
a
up.
sexual abuse record, and he was detained in Texas. Have you been in contact with the Texas police?
We have not directly as of yet.
What did you say to them again? There
Chief,
could be
did he
more.
tell you
What
why he
did you
was
say?
telling you about the other women? You're questioning about the women victims. Did he indicate why he was telling you about the others?
It was just something he wanted to do. That's all I can say.
Is there any indication he was ever an accomplice, or did he do all this by himself?
We have no indication that he did anything here other than alone.
We're going to do two more questions. You guys, two more questions. Hey, hold on. Just stay. Hold on. Two more questions and we're going to call this.
What's your
Sir.
level of confidence?
Sir.
Chief, what indication are you getting from him? Why do you think there could possibly be more?
I can't go into direct statements, but his level of cooperation and the things he's told us would indicate that possible other victims could surface.
And all the current victims are adult women? Is that
Yes, correct.
Has he been remorseful?
So I have not talked to him directly, personally, so I cannot say that.
Right now, our investigators
One more and we're
looking,
done.
One more question.
right now, our investigators out looking at any other addresses for any additional bodies, or for right now are things,
My investigators are not in the field at the moment. They're
And
still
Gary?
dealing with Mr. Van.
and Gary, sir, do you know about Gary
I
investigators?
don't know what Gary's doing at this moment.
If he was a registered sex offender in Texas.
Excuse me, I just want to remind everybody that if it were not for the great work of the Hammond Police Department, this could have been a murder in a Hammond motel room. And from that murder in a Hammond motel room, it turned into the Hammond Police caught what I would label a serial killer. And I think that's great for the Hammond Police Department. I appreciate the fine work of all the Hammond Police detectives and officers that worked on this case, and I appreciate you all coming out today. I do want to remind you this is an active case, and we don't want to jeopardize this case. Northwest Indiana is safer because the Hammond Police Department's fine